Hey, we're doing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, Baltimore, Hartford, Connecticut, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. This is trending on Twitter right now. Tucker Carlson confronted Piers Morgan on NATO's aggression. Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan engaged in a heated debate about NATO's role and actions, particularly focusing on the 1999 bombing of Yugoslavia, which was bullshit. Carlson criticized NATO's aggressive interventions, while Morgan defended NATO's defensive posture. The discussion also touched on broader geopolitical issues, including the leadership of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, with Carlson labeling him dictatorial, which he is, a claim met with Morgan's apparent admiration for Zelensky. So they've banned all the political opposition. They've closed down all the newspapers. They're even going after religious people.
Democracy.
And they don't have no elections. That's what Zelensky's done.
He's got to protect democracy.
And so here, let's watch. This is just 1 minute, so let's watch a little bit of this.
NATO is a defensive organization.
How is it defensive?
Because it has never acted proactively, aggressively.
Really? Where were you when the Yugoslavia war was going on? And they were bombing the shit out of Christians in Yugoslavia. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was pretty offensive.
NATO has always operated in a defensive capacity.
Really?
Yes.
That's how they created Kosovo? Defensively?
It was defensive.
Oh, it was?
Yes, it
Who was the aggressor there?
What about Libya? That was that NATO, or was that just France, UK, and the United States? Maybe it wasn't NATO.
Oh, no. My brother-in-law was literally there.
Just a minute. What you're saying is insane.
It's insane.
Tucker.
NATO has never actually acted unilaterally.
Okay, so the Soviet Union collapses.
It's never attacked anybody without being attacked. It's always been defensive.
Who in Yugoslavia attacked NATO?
Look.
Here's the part where you just admit defeat. Bow your head and be like, you know what? I bow before superior knowledge. I totally got this wrong. I can't believe I had such a silly idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was killer.
Is it NATO?
So Piers Morgan is just the defender of the status quo until it becomes obvious he can't defend it anymore. And then he'll say, I got COVID wrong, which is what he just did. He just did it like 5 minutes ago, yesterday or the day before, or maybe in the same interview. He said, yeah, I got it wrong. I thought the vaccines were going to do what they said they did. I thought this, I thought that. And he said, so at least he's admitting he got it wrong. But, he's the complete status quo guy. Defends NATO. NATO is an offensive organization. There's nothing for it to defend against. There is no Soviet Union anymore. That was the whole point of NATO. The NATO was because there was a Soviet Union. Well, that Soviet Union is no longer. There's just Russia. And who's the offender? Who's the offensive? It's NATO. We promised that we wouldn't expand NATO after the Berlin Wall fell, and we let Germany reunite again. We promised Russia we wouldn't do that. We've added 14 more nations into NATO, and all NATO is a money funneling organization to the military-industrial complex or the international security state, as Julian Assange taught us. And these wars aren't meant to be won; they're meant to be ongoing, which is why they had a peace deal in Ukraine a month after it started, and it was already signed, and Zelensky agreed to it, and then NATO came in and said, no, we got to keep this war going, and so it's been going on for 3 years. That's what's happening. So NATO is not a defensive organization. It's an offensive organization. There's nothing there to protect against ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, and every time a nation enters into NATO, they have in part of the contract to be a part of NATO is you have to spend a certain percentage of your GDP on weapons. And where do those weapons come from? The United States, because that's the last thing we make here. We still make weapons. So that's why they want to add as many nations as they can into NATO, because the international security state or the military weapons developers, manufacturers want more countries in NATO because they have to spend a certain percentage every year of their budget on weapons. That's what this is all about. And that's why Piers Morgan doesn't know anything about anything except what he hears on television. He was the perfect guy to be on CNN when he was on CNN because he gets all his news from places like CNN. And that's why someone like Tucker Carlson can come in there and make an idiot out of him easily. Anyway, that was so... I just wanted to show people that. Elaine, thank you for coming in. Good luck. Now, do you have any plans to move back into your house? There's got to be smoke damage like crazy.
No, I'm moving in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move it. Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna move in. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
I mean, it's like a war zone.
I'm gonna put a fan in. I'm gonna move in, and I'm gonna lead the
Big
charge.
fan.
I'm moving in. I'm putting a fan in. I'm moving in. 100%. I'm gonna encourage everybody.
So when
to
I
do
was
it.
in Altadena yesterday, I got out of the car and I walked around, and within 30 seconds, I could taste it in my mouth. And then I started to get
my
a
jacket
headache,
smells smoky.
and I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. I got right back in the car and got out of there as
It'll
fast
take a minute there to clear out. We're right on the water, and it's definitely it's gonna be okay. Altadena's a little different, and I haven't been there. I confess, I do need to go. I was just thinking, if we get the $100 million for real estate attorneys to protect people that live in the zip codes that were burnt, that's what we should use the money for. Get real estate attorneys to protect them, get entitlements. That would be good use of the funds.
Okay.
I also want to say something about Piers Morgan really
What?
quick. I noticed that he has like this kind of shock jock show now. Like he always like, right? It's like the old Geraldo style.
Yeah.
Didn't he used to be?
that.
I've turned down his last 15 invitations to his show.
He used to have like really cool interviews and stuff, but now it's like really crazy
Yeah.
and loud, right?
I was like, I'll come
Well,
on
he
by
started
myself,
out
but
as what he is.
I'm not going to come on so you can have some porn, which is just hate porn with me and some other assholes.
That's right. That's
what they want.
I saw there's like all this yelling all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They wanted me to come out with Cenk Uygur many times. Like, no, I'm not doing
He used
that.
to be so nice and like really listen, and then he doesn't. And here he doesn't even know what the Minsk Accords are. Amazing.
They're all fake. They're all phonies.
I'm
All these
sure
people are
he
phonies.
doesn't know anything about it. I'm sure he doesn't know what the Minsk Accord is. I'm sure
That's
he doesn't know
incredible.
what the truth is about the Maidan
How do
coup.
you not like read that stuff
He doesn't
before
know
you
because
talk
His
that?
brother-in-law was there. He's connected high up, and when they have I've seen this up close personally, being a joke butler for the last 20 years. These real rich people are connected high up, and they don't look into anything. They got a friend in it who tells them the deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a CIA guy. Sometimes a relative. He's got a brother in the military. He's got a brother-in-law who was there, he said. So that means he's only getting Five Eyes propaganda, and he's not going to look into it. Look where he's at, doing a sideshow for a living. He's going to jeopardize his career more by
That's
looking
right.
into the truth? No.
It's not my imagination, is what I'm saying, right? I always
No,
thought
It's
he
not
was
your
kind of.
imagination.
Yeah. Well, this has been amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. I hope I get to come back.
Okay, of course.
Okay.
All right, Elaine.
All right.
Great to see you.
Bye. Thank you.
Hey, we're doing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, Baltimore, Hartford, Connecticut, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.